Herald case, viewers, still haunts the Gandhis. Robert Vadra, Gandhi's son-in-law, finds it hard to get out of his own legal tangles. In a setback of sorts, the Rajasthan High Court has refused to quash the Enforcement Directorate's Bikaner Land grab probe. That is what is alleged by the Enforcement Directorate. Keeping him on tenterhooks, the court has announced that its verdict will be now given after 2 weeks. Till then, however, Mr. Robert Vadra and his mother Maureen Vadra have immunity from arrest. This order today is significant since it implies the court has, over the trial, found sufficient reason to allow the agencies to continue probing Robert Vadra in this particular land deal. BJP says that the defense of political witch hunt by the Congress against Vadra falls flat. However, here on Times Now, we want to report both sides of the story. That's why we went to Robert Vadra immediately after the court's verdict, court's order, for his statement. But this seems to have rankled him no end. Watch how he fumes and threatens to basically shoot the messenger itself. Listen in, viewers. Watch this.
There you can see Robert Vadra over here. Sir, just one response. So just one response from you, sir. Sir,
police case karo inke upar. Police case karo inke upar.
Sir, just one response from you, sir. What will be your next course of action, sir? Well, there you can see Robert Vadra without, in fact, speaking, leaving his residence. Sir, just one response I'm asking, sir. There you can see Robert Vadra clearly avoiding the media.
Now, viewers, for those of you who probably have forgotten what this case is all about, the ED believes that in 2006 or 7, 275 bighas of government land in Bikaner were allegedly illegally allocated to fictitious people. This land was then bought by Mr. Vadra's company in 2010, that's the allegation, and then sold off for a whopping profit. To put it simply, the land under ED scanner was allegedly bought for 72 lakhs and then sold off for 5.5 crores. And the ED believes that the land was bought by a front company, alleged fund company, belonging to Mr. Vadra, who then, because of the sale of this land, pocketed a whopping profit of 615%. Now that's the basic charge. An ECIR, which is not an FIR, was filed by the ED to carry out a probe. Mr. Vadra says that since there is no charge sheet or an FIR against him all these years, this particular case should be quashed, and the court said nothing doing. Now, viewers, let's open this up, because the BJP says that the court would have very willingly done so had there been nothing to this case. And I want to bring in Mr. Lokesh Jindal. Mr. Lokesh Jindal, today the ASG representing the Enforcement Directorate in court a few days back in the last few hearings made a sensational claim. He said that Mr. Mahesh Nagar, who's an alleged Vadra associate, carried out transactions on the instructions of Robert Vadra. Now, this is a serious ED claim that still stands against Mr. Robert Vadra. In fact, Nagar has testified to the Enforcement Directorate that he acted on behalf of Mr. Vadra, and this is one of the reasons why the court, the judge by extension, has not quashed this matter. So, Mr. Jindal, how can the Congress party, who has in the past described this case as a witch hunt, continue to argue this point?
Rahul, the conviction rate of ED is 0.5%, as we all know. So the statistics speak in themselves. We all know that how the ED functions and what is the objective of ED for having such a low conviction rate. And secondly, when you are talking about land deals, let me tell you what is happening in Nagpur. In Nagpur, the Gunthewari Act is being exploited so as to sell off the government land to those belonging to the BJP government at cheap rates. But the ED will not look into it. The point is, recently recently, Mr. Shinde, the CM of Maharashtra, he cleared land below under the Gunthewadi Act to 16 people despite opposition by the NIT. But this matter was not taken up. So there has been a selective pinpointing taking place. I mean, ED is misusing its power. The PMLA Act, which was aimed at preventing money laundering, is being used to prevent opposition.
Okay. So you're saying
this form of tendency,
the ED is unreliable and it is selective. I just want to also point out, viewers, another fact that the CBI, that has a much higher conviction rate, I think of 65% plus. I'll check that figure. Bear with me. But I believe that it's in a high number. That is also investigating an aspect of this case. The court has noted that there is a CBI request for a probe against Skylight, which is a company owned by Mr. Robert Vadra, under section 173 of the CRPC. This request is part of a supplementary charge sheet filed in 2017 in the Bikaner Land deal matter. In other words, the CBI case will also continue, and therefore there is no clean sheet yet either on that account. So there is also the CBI that is looking into this, Lokesh ji. What will you say to this now?
See, both ED and CBI, they function in different capacities. There are different legal provisions which they work within the framework of. So right now, whatever information is available, it is as per the PMLA.
You see the waffling.
And
the CBI, I'm just being corrected and told that in fact it's higher than 65%. It's almost 70%, the conviction rate, CBI. So that remains a probe. Now, for a moment, let's assume that this particular charge has returned to haunt Mr. Robert Vadra. I'm very interested in only one question, Sanju Verma ji, and you need to answer this. It has been almost a decade and no charge sheet in this matter. Why?
Okay.
How slow is
Rahul,
the ED?
Rahul, you've asked a pointed question and you will get a pointed rebuttal without ifs or buts whatsoever, and the truth. The initial investigation into this Bikaner land grab case by Robert Vadra and Maureen Vadra through their company Skylight Hospitality, the initial probe started in 2015, and in 2016 it landed into the ED's lap, and the ED started a probe. In 2015, actually, the Modi government, after it came to power, 18 plots of land were cancelled. And initially, mind you, Robert and Maureen Vadra were not even mentioned in the ECIR that was filed in 2016. Then initial arrests were made in 2000 was a middleman, and one was JP Nagar. After these three people started singing, after they started giving out information, it is then that in 2018, the Enforcement Directorate asked Robert and Maureen Vadra to submit themselves to a custodial interrogation, post which Robert Vadra actually applied to the court saying that the legal system is being misused and he and his mother should not be custodially interrogated. The matter went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court upheld the right of the Enforcement Directorate to investigate and probe the Vadras in this money laundering case. In 2019, Robert Vadra was interrogated for a brief while, and now in 2022, Robert and Maureen Vadra have been given a 2-week reprieve by the Rajasthan High Court.
Okay.
They can go to the higher bench and seek relief from not personally being custodially interrogated, but they are, Rahul, they are citizens like you and me.
Right.
If the Enforcement Directorate wanted, let me tell you, Enforcement Directorate, as per the last Supreme Court judgment, though this matter is still sub judice, has the power to suo moto arrest Robert and Maureen Vadra, which they have not done.
Okay, viewers,
so please don't play the victim card.
Viewers, 2019, 2020, 21, 22 almost ending. 4 years, even by Sanju Verma's own admission, 4 years have passed. 4 years, it appears right now, and there is, I'm no fan of Robert Vadra, viewers. But let me tell you, in this case, it appears that the process is worse than the punishment. Because it is giving people elbow room to say that he is corrupt, that he's done this, that, the other. But in 4 years, not even an FIR? That is absurd, isn't it? And that needs to change. Hopefully, it will. Otherwise, viewers, Robert Vadra is going to laugh in the face of the BJP and its government. Let me tell you this. You may not like to hear this, but that's a fact. 4 years. Think about it. The news are coming up.